Hi everybody, I'm the Idea Maker, and today I'm going to be doing my discussion video, or my discussion podcast episode on Everybody Loves Raymond Season 1, Episode 5. Now, this one was a very interesting one because this really discusses about relationships and marriage in a lot of different ways. So, I do want to go into a very interesting discussion, and it probably might be a little bit longer than usual than some of the other different ones. But I'm definitely going to see how this one plays out and see if we're going to be diving into more of these more intimate discussions. Especially, it's a little bit interesting because I want to still keep with YouTube's guideline rules and everything, and I want to make sure that it stays with it. So I'm going to briefly discuss about things, but I'm also going to try to get in depth with it to the point that it's still staying in the community guidelines. But without further ado, I'm going to be getting into the first topic, which is going to be about, which I'm going to call the Angelina situation. So, this whole episode was basically about Ray and Bernie. They go over to Nemo's, and Bernie just keeps antagonizing Ray on just wanting to go over to the booth just because there's a brand new waitress, because that's Nemo's niece, and that she's very attractive. She dresses more. I don't want to say more suggestively, but I could say suggestively more out there. I don't know. There's a lot of things I could say, but she dresses different amongst the other different waitresses. She's more attractive. She's got the different features that that there's people that they would like, and honestly, it's just something else. It's a very, very interesting situation, especially because that Bernie, he keeps antagonizing on Ray to say, like, isn't she attractive? Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she this and that? And Ray was just trying to keep up his integrity of the whole entire marriage that he has with Deborah and this relationship that he has with her. And I know that there's going to be guys that they say that there's someone who looks really, really attractive and they're in a relationship. And same thing with the women. They're gonna think the same exact thing. And the thing is about all of this is that, of course, it's going to happen. But honestly, I kind of feel like that's what breaks relationships too. And the reason why I say that, and I'm going to get this into another little part of it, but the thing is that I feel that, discussions like that, they could make or break you in a relationship or without a relationship. But this whole situation has to do with all around it. But the thing is that it's also the approach that was taken that really, really just got me aback and just be thinking, really? And then I also think about the fact that there are people that they still have this type of behavior and they also do these type of different things. It's kind of really dumb, and it's really sickening to a point that it's just like, wow, like really? Like you're really going to be taking this situation to this extreme? And I'm going to get to that as well in one of the other sections. But the next section that I really want to get into, especially because that this is something else. I mean, like, the one thing that I do want to get is the approach that was taken, especially because Ray, Ray's friends and like Bernie, and then later on down the road, you also have Gianni, you have Andy, and you have all these other different friends that he has, and they kind of antagonize him too. So one thing that I do want to get into is, antagonizing friend groups. Now, I really want to talk about antagonizing friend groups because that's kind of what starts this whole entire thing. This whole entire thing is the friends that you have. If you're in the wrong friend group and they make you feel like you're being peer pressured, they make you feel like you're not willing to be more of yourself and that you have to change just to please them or just to like them, then you're in the wrong friend group entirely. And I feel like Ray, he's always in the wrong friend group. He's always with the wrong people. He's always with the wrong guys. And of course, there's going to be people over at work that he's going to feel like, yeah, I'm with the wrong people and everything. But honestly, he has the wrong amount of friends. He has the wrong friends in general. And, he's surrounded by people that they don't really respect other people, including themselves. I mean, sure, there's going to be guys that they go and they do and they act in the ways that they do. But I mean, come on. it's so ridiculous to see that there's people who they're gonna do this, and it's just crazy. But you sometimes have to really evaluate and reevaluate exactly what you think is the right approach when it comes to this. I don't believe that all of this was right. I really don't believe all of this was right. And I do feel like the relationship that Ray has with his friends like Bernie and with the others, I feel like it's a male toxic waste. It's a male toxicity that it just lowers yourself. It really, really lowers him. He lowers himself, and he lowers everything else about himself, and it's horrible. It just, these demon qualities just make him look more like an average male chauvinist. And of course, I'm going to be probably just going in and going out and doing all these different things about this. But to me, I just feel like everything that was going on, it just drove me up the wall. It really, really did. It really made me drive myself up the wall, just because I just feel like that's not a good relationship whatsoever. I mean, it's really not a good relationship. And what makes it more antagonizing, and I'm going to say this as well about... So the other thing, I mean, is as I was getting to the whole thing about the friendship groups and everything, I also feel like there's also those friendship groups that they're also going to help you to staying right with your partner or your spouse, and that they're actually going to help lift you up instead of just having to bring you down to their level. And that's what that's the kind of friends that you need in your life. You don't need people that are going to keep harming you to the point that, you're just destroying yourself. And Ray almost set himself to be destroyed. He almost had his morality destroyed, his ideal image of himself to be destroyed, with the relationship that he has with Deborah in this marriage that he has, and especially as a father to the kids. And, even though that they're at this point, they're really, really young at this point. But I mean, the good thing is that usually Frank will go on and on about these stupid little things that he has that sometimes I am uncomfortable that he gets into, and with the discussions that he gets into. But he was right in some places. I mean, if Ray's a pretty bad liar and he doesn't really have the poker face to do so, then I mean, I would say that it's the best place to sometimes just avoid those areas as much as possible, because if you do, then at least it doesn't really give more of an inch to some other different people's ideas, which is going to get me to the next section, which is going to be the hypothetical questions that Deborah was asking Ray. So, I hate these hypothetical questions that sometimes people ask on, if I didn't exist, then who would be your next choice? I hate those questions because to me, that is a very, very dangerous topic to get into. Very, very dangerous. I say dangerous because you're playing with fire, okay, and you're igniting this fire, and you're adding wood to it by talking about who's the next person that you're going to have a relationship to if I never existed. It's such a stupid thing. I hate it when people just go into it. I feel like whoever starts asking those questions, they're the ones that are antagonizing the next person, and it's just ridiculous. It really, really is. I feel like people should just respect other people. I get it that they're going to feel insecure about the other person's answers, but that's what gets them mad. You don't play these type of games in a relationship, especially in a marriage. You don't ever play it. And if anybody asks you, just don't even answer. In my opinion, don't even answer. I'm not even in a marriage. I'm not even married, but I wouldn't even ask those questions. It's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I can't see myself asking anyone that question, whether I'm in a relationship with that person or not. I don't see myself asking anyone those type of questions of, if I didn't exist and you were in this situation, who is going to be the next person that you're going to have a relationship with? That's such a dumb question. beyond belief. It is so dumb. I can never ask anybody that question. I need to respect people. And if I'm going to respect people, I'm not going to ask them that question. And it's not even because that I want to hide something. It's just because that I think it's disrespectful. I think it's very toxic of a question. And I feel like that question is going to really hurt people. It's going to hurt them in all these areas. It could even hurt them physically. And if you don't believe it, then I mean, I would not recommend trying it, but that's up to you if you're going to try doing so. Man, it's just ridiculous to see that people will go to extreme measures just to have their, and to me, and these are just my opinions, but I feel like it's just sad that we have to go to these insecurities and we have to just calm our insecurities with these questions like that. And we expect a good answer. And when we're expecting the bad answer, then, we all just flip out and we just go at each other's throats. And then we start this whole thing where people just don't trust other people. And again, there's more episodes like this down the road. And I'm definitely going to bring up this topic again. This is one of the prominent things. Besides the relationship between Deborah and Ray and the one between Frank and Marie, and then Robert with his many girlfriends that he has until later on down the road that we know that he settles down with Amy. So, there's a lot of things that go into this. I feel like Deborah really antagonized him. I really feel like that was the case. And same thing with Marie, that she also kind of fueled things a little bit. And that's another thing I'm going to get into the next part, which is going to be, can the family help bring up this, can the family help ignite the antagonizing situation? So I think that, in my opinion, sometimes family can ignite this antagonizing situation, and it's dangerous to do so because it's going to leave you jumping to conclusions that you don't even want to think about. This made it to the rash decision of having for Deborah to test Ray to see of his loyalty to her, and that's what I felt like it was. It was more of like a loyalty test. It also felt like it was this type of test that it was this type of thing that he didn't want to make a big deal out of it because he didn't really want to. He was already afraid of telling Deborah what really happened because he despite all the jokes that he says about her at times. At least he cares about her. He loves her. He actually has a deep relationship for her, and he has these deep feelings for her despite everything else about him. And the thing is that it's so stupid when you have someone go and antagonizing you and trying to test you to see if you're really that loyal. It just makes me think that you have more insecurities than you thought. It just really makes me think that. I don't think it's right on Ray's behalf, and I don't think it's right on anybody's behalf. And I think that with just Marie fanning the flames a little bit on this and trying to be as subtle as she can, and I'm saying it in quotation marks because, Marie, she's never a subtle person. She never really is, and she never will be. And that's just another issue that we also have on top of it. The thing is that, it's Marie that we're talking about. Who else are we going to be talking about? Frank, he's not insecure about nothing. He's always just... Well, okay, he has his insecurities, but they're not like Marie's, which some of her insecurities can be crazy, and I literally mean crazy. I'm not lying about that, but anyways, it's just, I feel like, with how Marie was approaching Deborah about it and saying like, oh, how are you doing? And she's never really like that because in all reality, she never really cares about Deborah. She just doesn't really want to. And that's the thing. Later on down the road, we're going to get to those different questions, and we're going to get to some of these other different little reveals that come later on down the road. But you'll definitely see what I'm talking about. But anyways, I do feel like a family can antagonize people, or they can antagonize it at times, and they can add more fire to the flames. And it's just crazy. But the test is going to be the last section. All right. So I don't believe that Deborah was in the right. for this whole entire episode, because sometimes she can provoke Ray. Sometimes she really can, and that's a problem. If you have somebody that goes and likes to provoke you like that, then I'm sorry, but you're not in the right relationship. Personally, I don't feel like you're in the right relationship, but I feel that you still need to go find that specific someone that respects you. Of course, it's interesting that all these different things that are going on. I mean, with Deborah being like that, and she has her times that she provokes Ray, and it's crazy to think that she does. And you're not supposed to really have that type of thing. And I think that when Deborah had everything like accidentally spilled on her, like the milk and the water and everything, I felt like it was I think that was a good wake up call, because Ray was doing his best to try to show that he's loyal to Deborah, he's loyal to his family, he's loyal to his wife, and I think that that's the perfect thing. That a guy, or that the wife or the husband, or or the spouse or the partner could do in any different relationship, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's a really good thing. He was doing his best. He was trying to show that he didn't have any type of attraction towards Angelina, and I think that he was doing his best, and I could see that he was doing his best, despite getting antagonized by Bernie, despite getting antagonized by Marie, with antagonizing Deborah, and then to Deborah going and taking the lanes to it. I mean, come on. You just can't test your loved ones like that. It's not love, it's stupidity. It's not love. It's just plain stupid. If you don't find that stupid, then there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with you. It can be ridiculous. And it can lead to people getting hurt. And that's the thing. Going a little bit back to the discussion, the hypothetical question that Deborah started up, those things really do hurt people. It hurts them morally. It hurts them emotionally. It hurts them spiritually, mentally. It gives this image that it just makes you feel like you're not good enough. And it's funny because I'm thinking, why do you want to go and torture yourself in all of this? Why would you want to torture yourself in any of this at all? I feel like it's unnecessary to have yourself tortured by any of these questions. I feel like it's unnecessary to have yourself feeling the ways that you do. I feel like it'll lead to self-pity, and I feel like with this, it's not good for you. It's not good for you whatsoever. I don't understand how when people test you in these ways, they think they're a good person, but they're not. If they're going to go and antagonize you like this, then they're not the right people to be in your life. No, I absolutely disagree. And if you're smart enough to know that there's a lot of danger that can come from this, then I congratulate you. If not, then I really think that you need to go and figure out who your real friends are and who your fake friends are, who your real family is and who your fake family is. There's always going to be people that are going to be very antagonizing to you. And there's always going to be people who are going to just be lifting you up. So you need to figure that out. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's with friends, whether it's with family, you need to figure that out. Or else you're going to put yourself in a bigger hole than you need to be. Nobody deserves to be in a hole. Nobody deserves to have toxic people in their lives. And nobody deserves to be impacted by toxicity and by stupidity. But we all end up getting impacted by it. And it's the last thing that we want in our lives is for us to get impacted by it. So I ask you and I encourage you and I urge you to go and really, really think about these lessons and to really think, did this really help me in any way whatsoever to at least try to reevaluate myself in any way? But, these are all just my personal opinions. And you guys can be able to put your personal opinions into the comments below. And I would love to read them. I would definitely love to go over them. I think later on down the road, when I hit like the halfway marks of the season or the end of the season, I'm going to read the comments. If I have any comments on any of these, I'm going to read those ones and I'm going to give my opinions on them as a summary. But I'm definitely going to be doing so. And I thank you guys for getting to get the chance to be watching these different podcast episodes that I'm having. And I'm really, really glad that you guys are enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying recording these ones and getting to upload them to YouTube and uploading them for you guys to be able to watch and be able to get to reflect on and enjoy. But if you guys want to see more videos like this and you guys also want to see more reactions, then please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. And also, If you want to follow me on any of my social medias to see what's going to be happening on the channel, then please go to my Snapchat, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Discord, and my Discord server. All the links will be in the description below. But without further ado, thank you guys again. God bless you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.